Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up three very lovely.
Man, thank goodness. uNrekt.
Welcome to the HEX Late Show. It's 43 OG here. What an interesting week we've had. Discourse Syndicate and the HEX Late Show sponsored a Muay Thai fighter by the name of Jake Lund, and he fought on Saturday night. He's a Hexagon, and he won. He really had an amazing fight, and a few of us got together and watched it. And I'll just bring everyone up so we can have a chat about that. Oh, that's me twice. What's going on, guys?
Hey, yeah, it was a great fight, wasn't it? He was all class, Jake. That was quite a good win.
It was. I feel like he was just on a different level to the other fighter.
Yeah, fully.
You know, he was so much more poised.
To all the other
relaxed.
fighters of the night, actually. Like, because I watched all the fights leading up, and as soon as Jake came out, he was just like stalking his man down, and he was just cool, calm, and collected. Hey, and as soon as it started, I was just like, oh, he's gonna win. It was just like obvious.
Yeah, he was picking his shots. He wasn't like after the first round. You could see just by the way he just wasn't tired at all. He was just like, oh,
yeah,
you know, a little bit of a light sort of warm up. But the other guy was just like in the corner, like with his arms up, like breathing heavy.
Yeah.
And when but you could also see by their physiques.
Yeah.
Like Jake actually went up a weight class to fight this guy. He went.
I mean, he was
up a weight
super
class.
Skinny, but he was just like
very lean,
towering over the other guy. Hey,
he was he's extremely like very lean compared to the other guy. The other guy was a lot sort of had I think just had a bit more on him. G'day, Mayo. What's going on?
Hey guys.
I can't hear you, Jexxa. I can't hear you, mate.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
uNrekt. Yep.
He's going.
Yeah.
Wow.
Excellent. Yeah.
I'm having little glitches all over here, but it's almost like a power surge or something going on. It's like buzzing out the computer, buzzing out the the camera, and all that. But here we all are on the HEX Late Show. What a cracker!
With the HEX, the Jake Lund Hex.com fight T-shirt.
That's it.
Look at that.
HEX stakes average 38% returns a year. The first blockchain certificate of deposit, high returns, no minimum, and decentralized design. We love decentralization, don't we, guys? There's
100%.
over nearly. We're going to be approaching 500,000 wallets owning
Can't
HEX.
hear you,
Jexxa, something's wrong with your mic, mate.
Broken.
So, Maya, what was it like being there live, mate? It was we got uNrekt as well now.
There he is. He's there. And he's got it in the background.
Yeah. It was it was a very dominant fight. I mean, Jake just looked he looked fantastic, to be honest. What was the vibe there like?
It was awesome, man. Yeah, it was a good vibe. Especially when he came out. That's when the crowd really roared.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, uNrekt?
Oh, it was great. It was great to watch. No, it was great being there. Like you couldn't, yeah. But certainly, like the highlight of the night was, the Jake Lund. He was the fighter of the night, and that was the fight of the night. And what a champion! What a champion he was. It was a real privilege to be right there at ringside. Mayo, you did a fantastic job, and I mean, you really, mate. It was what can I say? It was a pleasure to be a part of and to witness. He is a champion, that bloke. He's the real deal.
Yeah, I think we definitely stole the show there too. I mean, everywhere you looked, it was just Hex.
Mate, it was. Yeah, you did really well. Yeah.
So for people who are watching and they're just wondering, what is this affiliation? What is it? It's Discourse Syndicate and the Hex Late Show have sponsored Jake, who's a world champion Muay Thai fighter. And there was a table there with Hexagons sitting at the table. uNrekt, you were there. We've got some photos that we'll show in a few minutes. And one of the things that we did as a part of the sponsorship was we agreed with Jake that we'd give him Hex to stake for 1, 5, and 10 years. So as a part of the sponsorship, Jake has a 1-year stake, a 5-year stake, and a 10-year stake. So we can all imagine how amazing that's going to be for him in years to come, and props to Jake as well for taking that. I guess from his perspective, it is a bit of a leap of faith, isn't it? Because he doesn't really know the ins and outs of Hex. We all do, but good on him for seeing the potential and seeing the potential of Hex in particular, because there's 101. There's many thousands of cryptos out there, but for him to be listening to Mayo and to take it on board and accept the Hex stakes as part of the sponsorship deal, that's fantastic. And we're going to be tracking that, guys. We're going to be looking at that because, all Hex has to do is go up a little bit, and his sponsorship deal all of a sudden looks so much better, So
can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Gotcha. Loud and clear.
Good. Yeah, it was actually nice to, like, we could see all you guys there that were lucky enough to attend, sitting down at your table on the VIP table, having a grand old time. And we were watching from the live stream, but we were actually sending Telegram messages back and forth to you guys. So it was almost sort of like we were there a little bit. So I was there. It was a good way to watch it, I think. Got to be part of it.
Yeah, it's good. Hopefully there'll be heaps more to come, and with any luck we'll get more of you can try and travel, and we can try and get more people there.
I'm a little bit scared. After I heard about the after party, I don't know if I'd be able to handle that.
The idea is it's just scale. So like you think of a good, like, get on a hooking up your buggy to a good horse or something like this. I mean, like through and through the bloke's a champion, and to get on that sort of like be able to sort of attach some of the value proposition across the board. And I lost my train of thought there. I sort of like butted in with something smart to say, and all of you blokes are smarter than me. But anyway,
who was with you, uNrekt? Who was there on the table with you?
Oh, we had there was it was a bit of a combined party actually. But yeah, we had T-Bird, shout out to T-Bird, and they were like actually shilling in the crowd, like they were shilling out or handing out cards, and we had what have we got here? Giving out like hats. They were wearing the Jake Lund hats, like, and the Hex.com caps, like with the Discourse Syndicate on the side. giving those out, and like a whole bunch of stickers and like just information about, you know, Hex crypto and what's out there, you know, like.
I got the. I think I've got a couple left of these flyers that we'll hand out. Hang on, I'll show you.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just like just little things like that, and it might mean nothing on the night. I mean, the big, obviously, the focus was all about the fighting and the great sport, the Muay Thai, and the discipline and the culture. So, you know, getting into the ring like that, and yeah.
These were getting handed out throughout the crowd. T-Bird done a really good job as well.
A few T-shirts got flung around as well. Actually, they made a pretty big deal of the T-shirts, didn't they? They had everyone that got a T-shirt had to come down into the center of the ring and had to pretend to be one of the ring girls, the card girls.
I've actually got the video of that. Do we want to have a look at that?
That was pretty cool. There was just Hex everywhere for the whole event.
Give me a couple of seconds, I'll tee it up.
From a promotion point of view, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, I thought it was like we were the main promoters of the
it was crazy.
I think there was about the Canon T-shirt Canon.
Got pulled at the last minute.
I think we did all right with what we got out of it.
Yeah.
Well, there was going to be a T-shirt Canon or something.
Yeah, I put in to have one there, but they what's it called? The venue came back and said they wouldn't allow us to do it without having a risk assessment done first. So next time, when we've got a bit more time,
I want to know who you call for a T-shirt Canon risk assessment.
Yeah, that'd be uNrekt Pyrate, wouldn't it? uNrekt Pyrate was the safety officer.
She's good, fellas.
We could have. Yeah, and we've got a whole bunch of like a couple other boxes and stuff of T-shirts arriving. So, you know, just like it's not just. I mean, while it was a great fight, and you know, it was really really good to see Jake Lund fight in the flesh on the first time. Yeah, man, he just dominated. So, yeah. Now I think the next fight's coming up in probably 2 or 3 months, something like that. So I've got a bit of time.
Right. Oh, Jake's lining up for another one straight away.
Is it 3?
There will be more, yeah. I think the Rise is on again in August. Yeah, so we'll see.
And the organisers, the promoters of the event were fantastic. They did a fantastic job of, you know, I thought I'd have to say, like, you know, what was it, Rise Corporation or something like that was the sponsor, like the main Rise Championships, and they were really, really professional and outstanding, I thought. And I was
they're still talking to me behind the
scenes.
You can keep going, mate. Keep going.
No, that's all right.
That's pretty loud. uNrekt, 93. Yeah, so it's pretty good. They got everyone down
in a break during in between the fights, hey?
Yeah, so this was the halftime show. So I don't think this got showed on the live stream, but.
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
No, it didn't. It didn't. I gave it to someone to show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You flicked it through, I think, Mayo, didn't you?
Yeah.
I might make this bigger, actually.
Had a really nice family vibe to it, actually.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of kids there. There was like, I mean, one of the early fights was like 2 pretty young kids, hey? Like, how old were they? They would have been like 15 or something, or?
Yeah, roughly,
I think there was even some younger ones at the very beginning, wasn't there? I thought there was a couple of little tackers.
Yeah, so the first few were a couple of amateurs coming up. That's good to see.
So what? Coming up. They were getting people out of the stands. What were you doing? Getting people out of the stands, giving them T-shirts?
Yeah, so they actually gave the shirts, like the promoter gave some of the shirts and hats to the ring card girls there, and they went up at some point and handed a few out to the people that made the most noise. And once they
you guys are like, don't just stand there with the T-shirt in your hand. Put the damn thing on.
This is probably hear me yelling out as I'm holding the camera. I was fist bumping as I'm coming out of the ring.
Yeah, they kept them on all night too.
Yeah. That little kid there, he done an awesome job, man, and you'll see by the end of this, he ended up with a Hex hat, and he was running around all night.
Hey, who got Those skirts and like, who got all of them?
Oh, you know,
Did you?
was us. That was
Did
us.
you get them? uNrekt, did you get one, mate?
Brown card girls.
No,
mate.
I haven't.
I'm not claiming any. I'm not claiming. I'm not. Don't ask, don't tell on that one. But yeah, I had a few irons in the fire, but it was completely separate from that. But yeah, no, it was. Yeah.
He's shocking. He's a shocking ring girl.
Yeah,
This guy.
Yeah, give us your vote for the best hex ring girl. Wait till the very end.
The fellow at the end had a good crack, didn't he?
Yeah, I actually knew him, so it was pretty funny. Yeah.
So I reckon, bang for your buck, those ring card girls, that was probably the best marketing money spent. Every 2 minutes they're out walking around, the Hex logo front and center. Yeah, it was actually on the back of the ring card as well.
Yeah, it was good, and I actually got up in the crowd and done a few handouts and got involved. I got a few good photos with them early on as well in the night.
And you had some inquiries about Hex, obviously, from all of this.
Quite a lot. Yeah,
right.
So now I've just got to keep on following up with them, and yeah, we should be good. It's hard to keep up on the night at the moment. Like everyone's working. Well, a lot of the guys there are working. There's other gym trainers and even the promoter and one of the judges has come up to me as well and had a quick chat in between when they could, but obviously we just got to follow it up and keep teaching them how to do it all.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Oh, mate, he's getting right into it.
And had a lot of them kind of heard about or invested in cryptocurrencies, or was it all completely new?
Well, I think less. Oh, there's obviously less are in cryptos and are in crypto, and even less again have actually heard about Hex. There was a couple that surprised me. I went to one of the other VIP tables and I was handing out the flyers, and the guy yelled out to me straight away, "This is that hexing. My brother's got this. Tell me about it. I want to know more." And now, a bit of a slut drop.
I was down a few cans already.
Oh, good stuff.
I mean, I read an article that's the other day that Sammy posted, and I think they were saying that 25% of Aussies have invested in crypto before or something like that.
Yeah, so the figure I heard on the radio the other day was 1 in 5 people had a cryptocurrency addiction, i.e. they like buying the shit. And the demographics were like what you'd expect. I think it was sort of 30 to 45 sort of age bracket. So yeah, that's what you'd expect to see, and yeah, hopefully we continue to see that grow even more and more people get a cryptocurrency addiction.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of interest, and again, there was another sponsor there, Three Kings, which do their own podcast, and they're quite heavily into freedom of speech and movement and stuff like that, and they're quite heavy into crypto, so they've invited me on the podcast now to talk about Hex and try and teach them about Hex. So that's the next move from here, I think.
So who we got here? Obviously got T-Bird, uNrekt, and go down the lineup. I don't know everyone there.
And then you got Jake, myself. You got a friend of mine, Jay, who I've onboarded, and then two brothers who are friends of mine, James and Will, who they were there to onboard at the time as well. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah,
it was good to meet everyone. It was really good to meet a great bunch of guys actually, and but yeah, there's you got your work cut out. Like it is difficult when you're trying to onboard people that are perhaps more pragmatic in approach, and they're not up to speed with the technology or understanding how some basic things you need to learn in crypto. How would you sort of cover all your I guess you've literally got to sit down with people for hours, and they've got to be willing to learn, take the first steps, and take all the risks themselves as well. Is that right? There's some fundamental things that you through, but
it's a lot harder to get the no coiners started. Like they see it and they read the stuff that we give them, and you tell them about it, and they're sold on the idea, but it's just
then how do I get it?
Yeah, the ease and the difficulty is the issue. the next.
So that's how, love it or hate it, centralized exchanges. We need that simple way forward. We need that good on ramp. It's just the friction's hard at the moment.
Yeah, that's
well. Speaking of on ramps, did you guys hear that Twitter Spaces comment by Richard during the week?
I've heard it repeated, but I didn't actually hear the commenters.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've just heard everyone repeating it.
I heard the screen grab of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can. Well, essentially, he was saying that he believes that there's a a quite big centralized exchange that's going to list PulseChain. But he was just being like, look, until I see it, I don't believe it till I see it. So,
I put my 2 cents out there. I would love to see it be Kraken. I think that would be nice. They support all the jurisdictions we find important. The support's good. It's just they're nice and slick, their operation. They don't rehypothecate their funds, which is good. So I'd love to see those guys be the one. But hey, who knows? I'll take any at this point.
There's a lot of rumors going around. If they become true, it's going to be some big things.
It might be a few in the end, I think. And
if one of the big ones does it, then I think the others will.
It'll be
and it's successful. And it's successful, like we think it will be. Then the others will just follow suit. It's just no.
There's a bit of wild speculation about Crypto.com because there's been some Crow token being exchanged on Testnet. I don't know if there's any validity in that or whether it's just coincidence.
There's been a few. I can't remember. Don't quote me, but I think someone was doing some chain analysis too a while ago, and there's some big exchanges, centralized exchange, known wallets that also put in for the sacrifices as well. That's right, isn't it?
Would you know if could it just be dumb people sending from an exchange? How large were they?
Quite large, and I believe it's a centralized exchange listed wallet. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to try and go back and find it, but yeah.
I've heard the same things as well.
Yeah. Hopefully it's true. I think the first exchange that does it, if they're a decent exchange, good luck to them. Hopefully they'll get a lot of patronage out of it.
Who's been on the testnet version 2b? Who's been playing around? I haven't had the chance yet, but
I just had a look at my balances, and like the first PulseX address that we got to use, I used that, and then he gave us another one. So my balance was less on the second time round, but then they're saying the balances still may not be like what's going to end up to be. Did you guys have the same issue?
No. So I originally put in the wrong address because that was the one that got fired around first up. I didn't interact with it or anything, and then I put in the second one, and I got more on the second one, and it was actually pretty accurate to a very close margin of what we thought.
I think mine was probably pretty damn close to what I calculated. I just haven't seen.
Well, Dave 43 was saying trying to talk to them.
What's that?
Were you saying something, 43?
No.
What happened there? Oh, a little bit of.
There we go.
Peter, what was it confirmed what K4K said, or he was just speculating? I think it'd be speculation, but.
Yeah.
KNTX, you reckon?
They usually are first movers in a lot of things like this, but not the best exchange. But hey, I'd take that. Can you?
Well, they said it was a big exchange.
They're Korean based, aren't they? Is it KNTX that's Korean based, or
sounds right? Yeah.
Hong Kong based, I think.
I'm gonna look up this.
That sounds familiar. Hong Kong something sounds familiar, I think.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm really lagging out. I might just drop my camera for a bit.
Who posted that video of that screen grab of Richard Hart talking about the that clip. Does anyone know who posted that on Twitter?
I'll have a look for it. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing that.
I can't keep up with Twitter after this weekend. It's been insane.
Just try. I can't find. So okay, coin headquarters out of the Seychelles.
Is uNrekt having a shower or something?
Balliet Brand posted it. Let me check it out. Brand.
My mic is Louis. It wasn't me. It's making the rainy noise. But I am lagging a little bit. Seems to be a little bit of stutter on the stream. Upstream, downstream.
So OKX is
I think we're still lagging out from the weekend hangover.
You would be. Oh my god, you guys partied so hard. I wish I was there.
Sammy, you would have loved it. You would have loved it, Sammy. It would have been awesome if you could come up. You've done Sydney.
When I'm loaded on PulseChain, I'll be coming to all this shit and partying with you guys.
I made an agreement with my missus. We're not going to party this hard anymore. can't handle it.
That was a pretty big session. How many hours did that go for?
I don't know.
Over a day, wasn't it? That was insane.
I left at the civilized hour of 3 a.m. But yeah.
I think I'd seen a message. I think it was 4 o'clock my time when you said you're just hanging up the boots.
Yeah, the next day or something like that.
Yeah, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
So you were going to get back into training, weren't you, Mayo? Was that you inspired, or
training for partying? That's about it.
No, you're gonna start training jiu-jitsu, right, mate?
Yeah, well, that's the other. So the two brothers on the end in that photo that we showed before that I'm onboarding, James and Will. So they're big into their BJJ. So I'll be going to try and do a few sessions with them now.
Nice.
So
are they gi or no gi?
They
do both.
No, I think James does both. I think Will competes in gi.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was their first time they've ever been to a Thai show. So it was a bit of
Jake did say he was full blown Hex now, and he actually wanted to come and hang with us for a while. I thought that was good, and just to sit with him and spend some time. He really is the complete he's got the right mindset. He's intelligent. He's got the tricks. So be interesting to see who could step to him next time. But he's a great guy. No, look, he's a great guy. We had a lot of fun. And it was a really enjoyable event to watch.
Drummond got touched up a little bit too much, I think. I was going to ask you, Mayo, do you think that should have been called earlier?
Yeah. Even Jake thinks that as well.
Yep.
His corner should have chucked in a towel.
I mean, the second time he went down, that should have been it, I thought. Yeah.
In that fourth quarter, I think, I mean,
it's hard as a ref though, as well as isn't it?
He was a tough guy though. He's really tough.
He was taking an absolute pounding, and he just kept getting up. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the aftermath. So there's quite a few stitches, and it was a hospital trip for him that night.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's going on in Hexland?
Pretty brutal.
Yeah, did anyone find that tweet?
I'll tell you what's going on in Hexland. We had a wick up to $5. That's what we had. A wick up to $5.
There's wicks all over the place, though, eh? Like, what are they?
We've never had a wick up to $5 before. That's like sets a new target for us, doesn't it? That's like
there was
that's
$1 to $2
aspirational target.
So there was $1 to $2, and then I think it must have been the next day or so another one up to $5 or something, which is crazy. But you look at any other chart and you can't see those wicks. It's only in Staker app.
Is that because it's like it means on version 1 or something there was hardly any liquidity and somebody just chucked in?
I don't know.
No,
I think sometimes actually
version 1.
I think it might be when it's on a calculated chart as opposed to like a pure. I'll go to a calculated one.
I think I read. Wasn't someone saying V2, the V2 liquidity, and it was a bot or something? I don't know.
Oh, hang on, this Tangent. Oh, Tangent's in here.
Hey,
buddy.
Tangent, what's up?
Yo, no rush. I've just been listening to you guys chat.
Have you been there for a while? Have you?
You know that chart? No, not that long. You know the chart that I look at on that Aurochs, website. That you know that it's like a free. It's like a free version of TradingView that has like quite a few more indicators that would normally be paid. That chart, I don't know which Uniswap version it uses, but that chart was also showing those mega wicks, 1 to 40 cents and then 1 to $5 the next day. But then now they're gone. So they've been removed from that chart. I don't know how. Oh, so what chart's that?
So this is the pure V2 one. So this is not a calculated chart. This is the actual V2 liquidity pool.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a.
Oh, so it's real then. It's real and it's still there.
Yeah, so let's drop it was just a real, even on a 5 minute. Let's have a look. So even on a 5 minute, literally one. Can we go even lower? Can we go on a 1 minute? All right, let's see. Yeah, it's just a, where are we? There we go.
So it's even a wick on the 1 minute.
1 minute, yeah.
Okay.
That's the new target, guys. Yeah. That is the new target.
That's the all-time high, then, is it?
Can Richard claim that as a does that mean it's an extra 0 on the X, right? So it goes to 10 million%. Is that right? 10 million% gain. 10 million% gain in 2 point whatever years.
100,000 X.
Nice.
So seriously, one hex was sold at that price. One hex was sold at that price.
That actually does, like, that's a big wick, but look at that trend line. That is not.
That would be bigger than Bitcoin.
That is not as stupid as you.
Way bigger than Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, when you think about it,
that silly.
People that got in around the top, they'll want at least a 10x, right? Like they people didn't come here for like sub 10x, so we've got to go to $5. Like we have to do it.
Yeah, for those people,
it's obligatory. It must go to $10, $5.
It must. $5 minimum. Sub mil FUD.
Yeah. That's more like it. Oh, that's cheered me up immensely. Seeing that.
Do you guys think that Hex could go to $1 million one day? Like if Hex is DeFi, right? Hang on, let's just take
anything's possible.
Hex is DeFi. Let's just say, like, I'm talking. Let's just say it's still going in 50, 60, 70 years time, right? Could Hex be like $1 million in that much time?
Yeah, but yes, but a cup of coffee could be $2 million. Like
that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
So, but yeah,
it still wouldn't be too bad. Like that wouldn't be too bad. I'd be happy with that sort of ratio between coffee and Hex.
You got to remember the emergency end staking would be real, man. The emergency end staking would be real at $1 million Hex, bro. Because people, even if you were emergency end stake and it nukes your entire balance except for one, you've got $1 million. So people would just be emergency end staking like nothing else.
But so do you know, this is in the context of like this like hyper like money printing.
Yeah,
like governments have just lost the fucking plot. At this point, they've just lost the fucking plot, and they're just throwing money at everyone left, right, and center.
It's not as silly as it sounds, and I'll tell you why. Going on the coffee cup theory that you just proposed, how much is a cup of coffee these days?
$7.
What? Too much. Where are you getting your coffee from, man? Jesus.
What are they sprinkling on the top of your coffee?
No, I was deliberately exaggerating that.
A cup of coffee is $4.50. We spiked up to $4.50. Could happen.
I like that.
That might be
that analogy. Yeah. That is a great analogy.
If we get
it's
to $4.50,
worth it. I mean, it's still undervalued. It's like, come on, look at. I reckon it's it's still massive. The whole thing with HEX and yield and stuff like that. Like there's so many in crypto more broadly now, and you've got to sort of like diversify a little bit once you've made it. Like just I know I'm still trying to like with your like the noobs that we were talking to in terms of like boarding and that. It's like I can't even remember what it is. It's like stepping through dollar cost average strategies. That's what I've been trying to like talk about. Like thinking about okay, so this was my experience coming in, and then this would be like if I was in your position now, what would I do? And just come up with a way to sort of like put bits in as you can, and choose to invest.
Absolutely.
But make sure you invest in the solid assets like the gold portfolio, the HEX on Ethereum chain, the HEX on PulseChain itself, PulseX, and then there's other really marvelous sort of like speculative projects, or even like this DeFi ecosystem being built out. With it's like we've used the analogy before. You've all heard it. You're driving along the road in a car that's the road's still being built while you're driving along. It's a bit like that.
Or I like the one that they talk about ETH, where it's like you're flying a plane and you're doing the maintenance on it while it's in the air.
Oh, right.
What about they refuel the plane?
Yeah, make people feel safe, eh?
Yeah.
The last Bitcoin,
safety first,
the one in 2017, 2018, where Bitcoin hit 20 grand. I bought close to the top there, and then as it went down, I just kept buying. Just kept dollar cost averaging as it went down, and because I was dollar cost averaging on the way down, it made my average entry way better than that 20 grand, which I got in originally at. So I followed it all the way down to the bottom, and then
if you haven't bought a top, then you a bitch. Like you might as well be a no. you might as well be a no coiner at that point. If you haven't bought a top of a cryptocurrency, you're not really in crypto. Let's be honest.
I bought HEX at 40 cents.
Fair juice to that one.
Yeah, you've got to experience the emotions of buying a top.
Yeah.
And the how good it feels to buy the bottom as well.
Yeah, the conviction, man, the satisfaction that your conviction has paid off is epic.
Yeah. And what it does, and it does make your average entry way lower. And then when it starts going up, it's like, it makes it too easy. Sorry, Jexxa, I cut you off.
Yeah, I was going to say, people bitch and moan about not having funds to put in, or the crime poor.
Get a job.
Get a job.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it is true. But it's find a way. Like Jesse, the pit boss, sold his boat, which is, hey, at least he had a boat. But he sold his boat to go all in on Pulse. It was either Pulse or Pulse.
Well, you can always sell your ass. Most people
marketplace.
Right.
Marketplace. You can just start selling random shit.
I don't know what I saw the other day, but I think it was that SAS or something. There was someone on that SAS show saying that they sold their stinky socks. Like a chick was selling her stinky socks to people following her on Instagram. If you can something to it.
How much do you get for stinky socks?
Not everyone can do it, Bluey. Don't get any ideas, mate. First of all, you need to be female as step one.
Yeah.
Hey, Bluey, just catfish that shit, man. Catfish
it. Shave those legs, buddy. You reckon you can pull it off?
Hey, when there's will, there's a way. You'll find a way.
Hey, I put something on Twitter today, and I got a response, and I thought we could maybe answer it on stream. So I posted a picture of the daily payout per T-share. And when I posted it, it was like 6.4 for the day. And then someone wrote, I can't get a straight answer from anyone on how HEX staking works. Do you get your effective HEX bonus longer and bigger on top of your T-share payout also? So does someone want to Is that clear enough? Does someone want to address that?
I think you take a step back and like that calculation gets done at the very start. Like
when you get your T-shares,
you know what I mean? Yeah, when you're creating the stake, you get those bonuses are wrapped in, and then after that, you only have to think about how many T-shares you have. You don't do the calculation later. Like, you know what I mean? The calculation gets done at the start, and then all you need to worry about is how many T-shares you have.
Yeah, and specifically at the moment, the cost per T-share, is approximately a bit over 21,000 hex per T-share. That's if you were to stake for 1 day.
Yeah.
If you were to stake for...
It sounds like what that person might be doing is almost like double counting, right? Like as in they think that they can magnify it up by an amount, but it's already as a T-share. So it's just as simple as literally multiplying the mechanism.
Okay, he doesn't understand the mechanism of what's going on with the T-shares as you stake longer and as you stake bigger. So as you stake bigger, up to 150 million hex, which look, that's not going to be any average person. That's going to be, massive entities who are going to do something along those lines. So we don't have to worry about that. The bigger pays better is not something that the average person needs to worry about. What you can do is you can exchange your time for a better rate on that T-share, right? If you stake for 5 years, it costs half as much for a T-share.
Hey, Dave 43, can I ask you a question, mate?
I'll just finish this off, mate. And if you stake for 10 years, if you stake for 10 years, it will be a third of the cost. So you can get a T-share for about 7,000 hex if you stake for 10 years. So that's what you're doing with the hex contract. You're exchanging your time for a better rate of. But yeah, sorry, uNrekt, what were you saying?
No, it was okay, mate. I didn't need to. I was just going to ask you what's 150 million hex worth in Australian dollar terms nowadays.
I mean, if it was at 10 cents, you just divide by 10.
Yeah.
But in Aussie dollars, then you need to divide by 0.7 as well.
Anyway,
I'll do the math. I'll do the math while you guys talk about some other shit.
While you're talking about that guy asking about the mechanics, so
26 mil. 23.5 mil.
Bro, I hadn't even opened the calculator app yet. Holy shit, you smoked me, dog.
You can just use it.
Holy shit, dude.
It's got a converter there. It'd be like, what's that?
I started before you, man. I jump started it. I got a head start.
That's all right. Cheating's allowed.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Sorry, mate, what were you going to say? T-shares as well, because that means you're getting you're earning more interest every day, or yield, as they like to say nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're going back to the mechanics, but if the T-share payout changes or can change so much day to day from early stakes, then how does that affect the time bonuses? You know what I mean? Is he asking something like that?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Because all your bonuses that you're getting are when you actually stake. Like when you get your T-shares, all the bonuses are like built into those T-shares. So if you were to stake 150 million hex, you get a bigger pays better bonus of 10% because you've staked 150 million hex. And that's not a linear thing either. It's not like it goes down evenly. Like you don't get close to 10% if you stake, I don't know, 100 million hex. You get way less. It's like only if you stake like 100. But that's not something we have to worry about. Us guys have to worry about is longer, just our time. That's all we have to worry about. I
think we all take it for granted now that we understand T-shares and things like that. And I think you've got to be careful when you are talking to someone new that you can say too much. I think you've got to do it in increments and let them go on their own little journey. And as they get a little bit further, then they'll come back with questions and you can keep chipping away at it.
It's hard to know how much information to give, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Sometimes less. Yeah. Sometimes less is better. Sure. And then as they progress, then you can have a deeper discussion about.
You know something I only learnt recently about HEX and I've been in since day one, or since pre day one, I guess, if you're following Richard before then, is that 3.69% interest is the max. It can actually be less than that. And I was like, what? I thought it was fixed at 3.69 and that gets distributed across all the stakers, but it doesn't work like that. It can be less. And at the moment, apparently it's only like 1.7 or like 1.3 or something, like under 2%, which is actually similar to Bitcoin, similar to the Bitcoin emission schedule.
How is it less?
If not everyone is staked. So if you don't have 100%, if everyone's staked, then it's 3.69. But if less people are staked, then the inflation is lower. Because remember, the inflation is relative to total supply.
Yeah.
So there's a whole.
I thought it was always just under 3.69%. Like that. The only reason that's the max, and it's not necessarily always 3.69% is because of.
I've been told this by like multiple people recently. Like, so unless they're all wrong, then could they all be wrong? God damn it!
No.
Learn something new about Hex every damn day.
It's
I didn't give enough of a shit to actually go and actually like check the math. I just assumed that if that many people are telling you that it's legit. People in the chat comment in before I look like a fool. Quick. Get in there.
I thought it had to be very close to 3.69 on the total supply all the time. Okay.
Help, chat, help.
That's what I was under that impression. The stakes go out, so that year, all the stakes are done. Like everything that comes out in the year, it's that first year it gets distributed out.
It can get released at a lot lower rate than that, but it is always generating at that. So it's accruing to people's stakes, but doesn't get released on market. Is the way I understand it. But it is.
This is the part of the, like when you were talking about the Hex contract. This is the part where.
And yes to Rinsky's question.
1.75 yesterday, so that was right when I thought it was 1.7. So Hex for my kids said it was 1.75 yesterday. So it must be a thing that you can kind of calculate daily.
No, it's never that low.
Looks like you guys are about to learn a lesson today as well. This is
You're
something,
right.
This is something.
You're right.
This is something that I think, like, because I said I only just learned this very recently. So, or got told this very recently.
Yeah.
So, my in real life uni friend says the 3.69 inflation is the max, but that's if everyone is staked. Yeah. Oh no, someone's saying inflation is always 3.69. Oh, a bit of controversy in the chat, boys.
Yeah,
KNTX says always 3.69. Shoot.
Yeah. I think what people are confusing is. Yeah,
I don't think it is. I don't think it is KNTX. I can't explain it. But
I think it could be just under, but it's always like edging up around there.
KNTX would know, bro. I think so.
Yeah. What I think you're confusing
that's
maybe
right.
is
that one there.
Is that if you're talking about circulating inflation, maybe? Because I don't know where are they pulling that stat from? Someone said 1.75.
So okay, let me.
Yeah, what's that? 1.75. Where's that from?
So is that based off the amount of percentage that is staked?
No, I mean, like the percentage staked is different. It just means that people are getting different amounts, but the overall inflation is 3.69% like per day per year. Like you divide 3.69 into 365, and then that's what you get. There's the daily rate, and that daily rate is forked out to anybody who's staked. And so the mathematics of it turns out that sometimes it's slightly less than 3.69%, but it's always like up there around 3.69%.
I'm going to tweet at Richard. I'm going to tweet at Richard, tell him he needs to come in here and sort this out right now.
Get him in there. Get him in.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is, guys. I think because things have been staked out for 15 years in the first year, it's less than 3.69.
Has that got to do with big payday?
And we're going to remember what we're talking about when we say 3.69. We're talking about of all the supply.
Of the total supply.
That's been minted. That's been minted.
Yeah. Well, total supply is only Hex that's been minted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's one of those things that this is where you need like a Kyle to explain it. Because he will explain it clearly and
this is going to
whereas
sound
we're
like,
just like, I heard the smart person tell me this shit. You know,
this is going to sound like hearsay, but the guy that told me, it was a nerd that told him. So like he was like it was definitely a nerd. So I mean that in a loving way because I'm also a nerd. I just mean like so.
You're a nerd.
Let's wait. Let's put a pin in it. Let's put a question mark on it. It could be either. Let's not. We'll find out. We'll find out.
I think right. Where I think everyone's getting confused, they're saying 3.69% if everyone's staked. That's what everyone would receive if everyone was staked.
Yes.
Yeah. But the actual
with the total
inflation
supply
rate, the inflation rate is based on the total supply. So the amount of stakers doesn't dictate the overall inflation rate.
Yeah, because
I think these guys are saying that it does. I think these guys are saying that it does.
No, it doesn't, because this is something that's measurable, and I can't measure it right now, but we would be able to say that every year the number of HEX is going to be 3.69% more,
but then,
or just a little bit less than
what
that.
What about PulseChain when it goes there, and then it'll be like 6.
But that's not what it is.
Yeah, but like
I feel like we've regressed about 2 years.
It's hyperinflation. You're doubling the whole supply.
I think the lesson here is actually that it
this is what I'm
matter.
saying. Hang on, I think KNTX and I are on the same page here, because this is what I'm saying. I'm saying don't forget that all inflation is delayed due to long stakes too. That's what I'm saying.
No, but it's
delayed.
Accrued.
Yes, delayed. Yes, but inflation
every day.
Yeah, delayed, yes, but inflation is always created.
Yeah, it still counts. It's in my opinion.
But it doesn't. But this is the thing. It doesn't. It counts.
So then they're not talking about inflation. They're talking about inflation that has been actively paid out into liquid. Like, as in, that's two different things.
Yeah, but it's not.
Okay.
Like the daily pay, guys. The daily payout is worked out. The daily payout is worked out off HEX that's been minted, right? And it might have been staked again after that. But it's only worked out of stuff that's been minted.
Really?
Any HEX that's come into existence.
Yeah, total supply.
Has to have come into existence. So even though you're saying, like, for example, Bluey, you were saying that it's accruing, it's like accruing, but that stuff that's accruing doesn't count to like that calculation for the new stuff that's getting minted.
So now you're just arguing about how you calculate the 3.69%. That's the difference there. That's not the actual number of 3.69%.
Yeah,
so maybe that 1.75 is like derived in a different way that those people are talking about. Maybe it's
so we started this whole discussion trying to clarify something for someone, and now we're just confused. Fucking everyone.
Wait, this I will take the blame. I will take the blame for this fuck up. But I did get told this.
Hang on. Are you taking the blame? Where are you? Where'd you go?
You deleted me.
Where'd you go?
I'm bottom.
Are you taking the blame? Monologue.
I'm taking the blame. So, but I'm also. It was based on something that someone told me. So the reason I'm taking the blame is because I should have fact checked it before bringing it up. Like, I should have actually looked into myself and done the math, and then I would have worked out what it is, the two things that people are calculating. I think it's probably this thing that we've kind of worked out, that it's two different things that people are talking about. So no one's wrong.
Maybe
no one's wrong. It's just a miscommunication about what we're talking about.
Maybe the difference is between what's being paid out and what's being accrued. That's what the difference. That's where the difference is.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So, all good.
Did you hear this at one of your parties, Tangent?
No. This was I've been streaming a lot with Crypto Gym Rat. By the way, he does this really cool thing where he streams until he hits 100 likes, and I'm like, bro, that is madness, because at the time he had like sub 500 subscribers, so it's like. It's huge. So he would just stream for freaking hours, sometimes like up to 5 hours, until he would get the 100 likes every day. I
jumped in with on him the other day,
and it was on that stream.
Does he pull the plug? Does he pull the plug when he gets to 100?
Yeah, he doesn't let himself stop until he gets to 100, and then he's allowed to end after that.
whenever.
But basically, I got told that on one of his streams when we were chatting about stuff, and it was by people who should know, like as in.
Wouldn't that make people who like him not hit the like?
Well, see, that's the I added a game theoretical element to when I did it on my stream because I was like, that's a cool idea, I'm going to do it. So I did it on my stream, and but I told people, I'm like, there's a game theoretical element that I'm not telling you about. If you guys try to dick me and not give me the likes to try and make me stream for ages, there's a punishment incoming. I did carrot and the stick, but I didn't tell them what it was. And what it was if I got the 100 likes before Crypto Gym Rat stream started, because I didn't want to overlap over his, but I also didn't want to stop before 100. If I got them in time, I would stream every day for a minimum of 20 minutes for a full week. So I'd be on stream every day. And if I didn't get them in time, then I wouldn't stream at all for a week. But I didn't tell anyone that was the punishment and the reward. Now, technically they didn't make it. And I got to the 100 maybe like 10 minutes after he started. So now it's a gray area. Like I can pretty much do what I want because they pretty much made it. We pretty much got to 100 likes in time, but it was like a little bit late.
I think the tokenomics of this game incentive needs to be worked on.
Well, what do you guys think I should do? Like, what do you guys think? Like, I'm probably just going to do it anyway and just stream every day. Airdrop.
Do an air claim.
Hey, you know what's really cool? One of the Hexagons, because I put out a new ladies discourse Twitter channel, and so one of the dudes who's called Ape Man or something did like free NFTs. So got one of the pictures from Lady DS, made a NFT, and then gave everyone like 100 free NFTs, and then I had like all these new followers. So that's a really good thing too. And some people love doing it. They do it on like AVAX or something, so it like costs bugger all. And it's really awesome.
I just remember someone
we're not going
tweeted,
to be stopping this stream until we get 100 likes. So can you please click the likes right now? We need 100 likes.
Yeah, I've got to get to bed early tonight. I need to catch up on
next time I see Crypto Gym Rat pop up, I'll make sure I get over there and at least give him a like on YouTube.
Yeah, we should say hi to the
shout out
Twitch
his channel,
Twitch people as well. Or are we on D Live?
Twitch,
as well?
of course. Yeah, we're on. We are on multiple platforms.
Sammy
on
Twitch, I believe. Yeah.
Sammy, there was an NFT project that tweeted at Trayvon James, and they were like, "Yo, we're doing this NFT drop, and we've got one saved specially for you. How are we going to get it? How do you want us to get it to you? Like, what's your address or whatever?" And he's like, "That's okay, bro. I'll just screenshot it." I was like, yes, savage.
That's got to be what was that thing that someone's airdropping just people who are in the toucanairs thing? That's got to be the dumbest airdrop. You're picking the people. You're picking the most degen out of the hexagons.
But did you guys hear?
Is this the more token?
9-figure airdrop. 9-figure airdrop went out to people holding those stupid 8 tokens.
Yeah, I know someone
NFT.
No, someone close that got. I think they got 180 grand off of those 8 tokens or whatever they're called.
Really?
Yeah, so like biggest airdrop that's ever existed. Like smoked Uniswap, smoked everything. 9-figure airdrop.
Really? Where do they get the money from? I don't understand.
Yeah, who's buying that token?
Out of thin air, Sammy. Just like every.
But who's buying that token to like?
Just like every crypto project.
Why didn't the price just drop like a stone as soon as it was dropped?
Well, what was it? It was that ape one. I can't remember what they called it now. It's been
like
everyone's
Bored
been.
Ape Yacht Club. It was all the ape ones. Bored Ape Yacht Club and fucking fucking drunk apes.
Yeah, but the token that got dropped was called ape something. Was it just ape? Was it? I don't know.
I think it's just ape coin or ape or whatever.
We're just going from dog coins to ape coins, aren't we?
Yeah, but it's the underlying technology that gives them a value. You know,
no. This was just a token. I think that got dropped. Yeah. I don't think it was an NFT or anything.
I think uNrekt's making a broader statement that ultimately the value should be based on a, like in the long term. So if it's based on nothing, it's just useless shit. It's going to go to zero, basically.
Yeah, it's just that they could use it on a blockchain and they can create those tokens.
So it got dropped and looks like it started about $8, rallied up to $16, drew back to just under 11.
Just under 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
well, last year it was all the fruit coins, and this year it's like NFTs. But like, you know, look, I mean, I think I prefer the NFT side of things a bit more than I would some of those rug pulls and all those other scams that were poking around all this time in crypto as well. Just be aware of that. Don't.
I haven't touched NFTs for the record. I own 0 NFTs. Actually,
not even a Hedron.
There was one NFT I bought to get a real world item, and I don't count that because I had to buy that NFT to get the thing that I wanted in real life. So that, to me, that doesn't count. That's not me buying an NFT. That's just like
you're buying a ticket.
Yeah. It was an indirectly. I was just purchasing the shoes.
I tell you what, though, the whole NFT thing has gone on a lot longer than I ever thought it would go on.
I agree with that. Yep, same.
Like, I reckon we're just getting started on it. Honestly,
it feels like it, doesn't it?
Well, I hope
when
NFTs
the financial NFTs hit the space. I mean, that's what Hedron's going to be about. It's going to be the financial NFTs.
That's not going to be what everyone sees.
Exactly right.
It's going to be all the mainstream guys that have no clue about crypto buying that shit. And there's some new platform that has made it. Their quote was, "It's like as easy as buying off of eBay or something like that, or off Amazon." Like that's what they're doing with NFTs. So they wanted to get rid of all the friction of having to buy crypto, so you can get the NFT. So people are just going to be literally aping into more NFTs from legacy companies because they're setting up the platform to do it, and it's a pure, like it's just mass marketing play to.
Is it? It's a money grab.
People that aren't even in crypto space.
You're at 43. We've got 100 likes, man. We're on 100.
Do we get 100 likes?
Done. Cooked it.
Oh.
Yes.
Well done.
That means people don't want to see us continue.
Good stuff, guys.
Did you realize that?
They're like, fuck these guys. Get them off the air. Boom. They've got the big like one of those gong things, so they're just like, boom.
Get them off.
Wait, by the way, speaking of that.
If anyone does want a free NFT for Ladies Discourse, follow at Stake in Apes, so STAKENAPS, and follow at Ladies Discourse, Ladies of Hex and Pulse, or Ladies Discourse, at Ladies Discourse, and you can grab a free NFT.
I wouldn't even pay the gas for it.
You don't have to pay anything. You just have to drop your address. Hey, you've given away 100, only got like 20 left or something.
Hey, do we know? This is my question on NFTs. Is this? I don't know how they are in Australia, but obviously in the States, are they trying to obviously use these as art, right? So is this obviously a tax dodge? What's that? How's that work here for us?
It can be actually. I think that they can be used
straight up tax dodge, but yeah.
Okay, so we
bookkeeping
specific. What do you mean?
Let's have a chat. This is interesting because we were talking about Hedron stakes and how there may be a way to transfer the value of a stake legally using the NFT feature. So if you've got an encapsulated stake or a HSI stake on Hedron, and you wrap it you tokenize it into an NFT, and you put that on the market to sell, and you sell it for $5, that's the taxable event that's happened. And then the person gets that in their wallet, and they can unwrap it and have the full stake there. And that is legitimate. Like that's not dodging or anything. That is a legitimate thing to do.
Yep, I agree. Because it's
no tax advice.
No, but it's on the blockchain. It's verifiable, right? It's verifiable.
Yeah, there's been a transaction for that amount. Now, just because the NFT didn't sell for as much as what the HEX inside it is worth, there's nothing dodgy about that as far as I can see.
I mean, Sammy chucked out that article
that's a beauty
about all the new tax regulations that are coming in for Australia. It didn't have any detail about what they're actually going to do, though. Is there anything kind of? Do you guys reckon there's anything?
It was more geared up to exchanges and money handling.
Yeah.
But you know what I liked about it is that the government is tackling the debanking of crypto in banks. And you know what's really crappy is like the other day I went to put some money into CoinSpot, and then all of a sudden realized I can't use my like same deposit I've used for like 3-4 years. It's gone. So
really? Why?
I don't know.
Have you been debanked, Sammy?
Yeah, I was. So I just had to make a direct deposit. I had to use like a unique code to use BSB and account number, and it took 24 hours to put the money in. So, you know, they're trying in that article. I know it wasn't all good, but you know, we need tax regulation. We need clarity on the tax in Australia in cryptocurrency, and we need them to stand up to these banks who want to discriminate against which cryptocurrency exchanges they will accept and which they won't.
And which people they debank as well, hey? Like
exactly.
Like you own a tattoo parlor and all of a sudden you can't use a bank. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's tax? What are you guys talking about? What's tax?
You know the guys that work at that office and they wear ski masks? And every week you get paid and they tax them.
Yeah, that big suited thing that tries to take all your hard-earned money.
I'm playing, by the way, just in case anyone from the ATO is watching. I'm fucking
Hey, Sammy, have you got a Hexagon of the week?
I have.
Okay, let me play the intro.
All right, we've got a couple.
Lots of plum trees, a sheep, a tuak, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back.
That's a knife. All I had was me undies on.
Hey, so the Hexagon legend, we got 2 Hexagon legends this week. So the one and only first one is Jake Lund, because he put on such an awesome show at the fight on the weekend and won. And yeah, he was just awesome. So Jake was previously the World Boxing Council champion and also the World Muay Thai Council champion. So we're so happy to have him as a Hexagon, and we're really excited about watching him grow with us and keeping track of all his fights. And we've got another one. Day43, did you put the photo up? Well, it was Hex Spaniel. She's also the other awesome Hexagon of the week. She actually has a lovely brother who is a professional golf caddy, and she sent him a Hex hat to wear on his adventures. And this is her brother here in the photo, and he's at the New South Wales Open Golf promoting Hex for us. So well done, Hex Spaniels, and welcome to the team, Jake Lund.
Woo. Woo. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Hexagon legends right there.
Stuff happening everywhere.
So we haven't really had much of a chat about the Testnet V2, have we? Or was that when I was cut off?
We sort of started, but we didn't get too far with it, did we?
So has anyone played with PulseX, the swapping and things like that?
I haven't had a chance yet, but I can't wait to.
I've done a tiny bit today. I wouldn't.
Did anyone did you come across the party token?
No, I didn't actually.
PRT.
Okay. So, PTY, I think it was, or something like that.
Oh, PTY.
Pulse reward token, PRT.
PRT.
No. So this one's when you stake your PulseX, teams can choose to give you an airdrop of their, so they could set up a pool of their tokens that you get given if you're staking your PulseX. So if someone launches a new project or protocol or whatever, and they want to get their token out to a set of users that they want to reward, PRT, someone said, then they can actually set up like how you do with like farming with liquidity pools and things like that.
Yep.
So they can just set up reserve a pool of tokens that are going to get distributed to PulseX holders. That's something new that we weren't expecting. Yeah.
There was an increase to a percentage. Nice. I saw that around somewhere. Was there an increase from 0.06 to 0.07 of something?
For the buy and burn, yeah, I think there was. I don't know the specifics about that, but yeah, apparently.
That's pretty awesome, Jexxa.
Yeah,
particularly
that's
the comment that you made that it was something that was not expected. So it's like additional to the awesomeness that people saw in the token, you know?
Yeah. And what else was there? And the buy and burn is now an automated thing again.
Or is it auto or just able to be called by anyone?
Or able to be called by
anyone.
A public function, yeah.
Public function, yeah.
Do you understand how it works
which is better. Like, so it's not the best, but it's better than if it was private.
I'd love someone to describe it to me in simple terms, if someone understands that.
I haven't looked into all the details. Apparently,
it's a really exciting area. There's lots of opportunities within the
K4K has done a good video on it. So.
Bluey, you know those pancake pools that they like auto compound the interest, but it actually requires someone to run the function. So they've got like an incentive that builds up slowly, and then eventually someone will pull the trigger because the incentive that has built up is higher than the cost of the gas to run the function for everybody.
Yeah.
Basically, so that's an example where someone has to run that function. So
it's not buy and burn. It's buy.
No. Sorry. No. I'm just giving an example. I'm just giving an example of a publicly called function. This is not related in terms of the actual mechanism. Like this is. I'm not like just to be clear. So that in that case, there's a function that has to be called by someone, but they've worked out a way to incentivize. Hey. So people see it as being like that. It's auto. But it's actually technically not auto. It's manual, but anyone can call it. So it ends up being auto for most people because most people never have to pull that trigger. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be so cheap that everyone will just, because PulseX transactions will be so cheap that Pulse transactions will be so cheap, but people will just burn it all the time. Yeah, right. So it is actually burning tokens.
I mean, I assume so.
Yeah.
Be like
but it's going to need to swap them over to PulseX.
Yeah, how does that?
And then
burn them.
So that there's going to be routing involved, right?
No, someone was saying it was using a part of the. This doesn't make sense. So they said
this is the bit that I didn't understand.
Token. Yeah, I don't know. I'll stop talking now because that's exhausted.
Yeah, we have to do some research. We have to do some research. Yeah. Hey, shout out to Jim Crypto. Thank you very much for the $9.99. We appreciate that because that's worth more in Australian dollars.
Subscribe to his channel. Everyone subscribe to Jim Rat's channel.
Subscribe to Jim Rat Crypto's channel.
Hex focused channel that is like interviewing legendary hexagons and his commitment level is...
Are you saying that just because you were on there?
Yeah.
Well, Ted is a legend. Everyone knows Ted is a legend. Come on.
Actually, we're on Motley's stream the other day. And Jim Rat, I'm going to hold you to that, giving me that session of like fitness advice.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was going to try and get on there with him and Jake and talk some fitness stuff as well at some point.
Yeah, do it.
Absolutely.
There's plenty of things happening.
Bluey, what are you doing? Sorry, Sammy, you go.
No, I was just going to say, so do we have any idea of how many free, like decent quality free airdrops we're looking at? Because I've seen a few getting
Here we go. Airdrop hunters. Come on.
You keen for some more free money, Sammy?
Kind, sir.
When I saw airdrop,
when PulseChain, sir.
Hey, there's Kira token is getting airdrops.
4 more weeks.
Yeah, can anyone look into it? Because I'm not like smart as you guys, so you got to check it out first before I touch it.
Is this not for Hex staking?
This is not an endorsement of Kira token, by the way. I
of course
have heard that there's going to be a Kira token airdrop, and it's just going to show up in your account.
That's the Pulse sacrifices.
For Pulse,
what's it based on? Who's it being
airdropped
to?
I think it's Pulse. Yeah.
So it's the Pulse sacrifice.
And it's got nothing to do with how much you sacrificed. It's just how many times you did.
Kira.
Sweet.
Yeah, right.
Did you say Kira?
From different addresses?
Oh.
I think that's. I mean, I'm just vaguely remembering.
Day 43, yes, like as in, there's no way that they would know if multiple addresses belong to the same person. So if you sacrifice from multiple addresses, you probably do get the airdrop, just like Uniswap.
But you would never have, like, no one would have done that. Like, why would you do that?
Except for this guy.
Yeah. You did it to get to get 2 Kira token airdrops, didn't you?
No, I just did it. I just did it potentially for any airdrop that would be based on like a non-prorated airdrop.
Yeah, I did it for one address. I
thought we actually talked about it as a group at one point. Where
I think we did.
I think Jexxa was the guy that gave me the idea.
We might have recommended people.
You could just punch in like a tiny amount of hex, like 70 hex or 50 hex or whatever, like from every address that you've got. Most of mine that I did for that purpose, I actually did it well past the official end of the sacrifice phase. So the amount of pulse I'll actually get for those sacks is like nearly 0, like just wrecked. And I purely did it for that, to game that mechanic. I didn't overdo it. Like, we're talking like less than 20 addresses, like nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that. So I've never heard of that one, but yeah. I've just been like quite absorbed in the Hex Hedron pair. I find that one quite interesting at the moment, just while we're waiting for Pulse, you know.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why people really got around that chart was because everyone was so starved of gains and pumps on the Hex chart that it gave everyone something to look at that was actually pumping. So
yeah.
I've
I
Tangent.
like it. I think it's good.
E-Type's going to set up a sacrifice address for your software, mate.
We need to remove that logo.
Guys, I'll fix it. When I'm streaming on my shit, I've got OBS. I can trim it, so I trim it out so you don't see it. But yes.
Why are you using XSplit and OBS at the same time?
So I use XSplit for the virtual green screen. I find it's better quality, like as in it, because I don't have a real green screen, and I find XSplit does a really good job of actually not, like, you can still see it's a bit, like, if I move my head around, you can see it's like glitching out, but largely it's pretty good.
I'm going to be honest, it's pretty bad.
well, compared to other virtual green screens, it's the best I've found.
Hey, this Restream one's pretty good. The one I'm using.
Nah, it hasn't worked that well for me. Maybe you've got like a more consistent color behind you, but my shit behind me is like, I've got like computers and shit behind me, so it's just like all over the place.
Yeah.
So I think it's
So Bluey, I was going to ask you, mate. So what are you doing? I mean, you've been in the US now for what, a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. Have you? Are you about to move on from the sewing room, or?
I am. I'm heading to San Diego tomorrow.
Have you made anything while you've been in there?
Say that again?
Have you made anything while you've been in the sewing room?
That's how he's paying his rent, mate.
I
made this tracksuit.
Lol.
How's it going over there, Bluey?
Yeah, it's fun. I'm a bit. Yeah, I'm ready to move on from Vegas. Yeah, but and there's a Hexagon that's offered me a place to stay in San Diego, so that's pretty cool.
Oh.
And after that, I'm going to head over to a crypto conference in Miami at the start of April. So
nice.
Yeah, awesome.
That's the one that Richard Hart was offered to
speak
do a debate at. Yeah. No, he was offered a debate there.
Speak. I don't think he's going to debate. I think he's just going to speak there.
No. Someone offered him, wanted to debate him there. Someone wanted him to someone wanted to debate him there. Yep, it was on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
It was a Bitcoin maxi.
Oh, how's this?
Are you sure that's the same conference? Because that could be a different conference.
Actually, I don't know if it's the same conference. But
no, I think that might be
it was a conference. That was a Bitcoin conference. Yeah. Sorry, my mistake. All these conferences.
If you're Richard, would you really want to go to a Bitcoin conference? That'd be just like maximum.
I can't think of
hate
anything more
and-
boring, honestly.
Yeah.
It's been there, done it all. They're not listening. What do
Yeah.
you do?
For Richard,
and now that Peter McCormack isn't on Twitter anymore, he's just going to be at all of the Bitcoin
What do you mean he's
conferences.
not on Twitter?
So what actually happened?
What happened
with that?
there?
Is he gone?
He wrote a tweet saying he's going to let his team handle his tweets from now on, and so he's not going to be on Twitter.
Yeah, he
That's not
rage
a big
quit
loss.
Twitter.
Little bitch.
No,
That's not a big loss.
no big loss.
It's good. I'm glad he's not on there anymore.
he should have
so
just
what
deleted the account.
What's this? All this stuff I hear about Donald Trump and Richard Hart. What's the go with that?
I
Popping up
think
here
it's
and there.
everyone's. I think Joe Rogan doesn't want to be responsible for having a stream or having a conversation with Trump.
Anyone political?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I saw, Bluey. He doesn't want to have anyone political on the show anymore.
Yeah,
Apparently.
he's done. Maybe someone warned him.
He's probably had, I wouldn't be surprised if he's had a few sneaky threats.
I would
Hang
not
on,
be
hang
surprised at all.
on. Isn't let's go to the PulseChain sacrifice. Isn't that a political statement? That blockchain is freedom of speech, raising like millions of dollars for longevity research, and there's so many other good things that Hexagons are doing out there in the world with.
What's that got to do with Joe Rogan?
What? You talk about like Donald Trump and Richard Hart, or
Someone
Joe
from a
Rogan?
political party, I guess.
Oh, Joe Rogan.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
he don't do the politics thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with all the
gotcha.
latest.
Yeah. But you're right. That probably would be a good one for Richard and Trump to have a chat about. I reckon they'd
I've
find-
always
That
thought
would be awesome. I'd love
You know,
that.
the guy he was speaking to about that was this FBI dude who's always on, and I've always thought that's Joe Rogan's handler.
I like this one. I like Russell Brand.
always
I
thought-
reckon he's
Yeah, I
handler.
agree with the Russell
I like
Brand
this.
thing. I've
This
been
would be a
trying.
really good one.
Yeah. I'm on that as well.
Yeah,
want to be a
we
crack on
really
his
tried to
years.
slam that. I mean, I wrote a number of emails to Russell Brand, and there was this point where they were both going to be in London, and a lot of Hexagons went hard on trying to get Russell Brand and him together, and that didn't happen. But Russell
It could
Brand
still
wasn't
happen,
interested.
man. It could still happen.
Yeah, that's
Hasn't
true.
happened yet.
Never give up, man.
Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, fair call.
All he would have to do, all Russell Brand would have to do, is come across Richard Hart, like saying something, like one of the many things that he's said that just
Well, you go to the
makes a lot of
Sky Vibe.
sense, you know.
The problem
Right.
is the first
He
thing
just has to come
one of their
across it.
the problem is the first thing one of their team would do when they were going to line up an interview like that would be jump on Google, and there's probably still all the bullshit out there floating around about Richard. So would they even go that next step further? I don't know.
But of course they
That's-
would. Wouldn't you
well,
want someone who's interesting and controversial?
Yeah, I mean,
you
look
would
what he
What's the
does.
real story here?
He
I mean, that's.
digs.
I
would
mean, who
hope
knows
that
how
would,
they
but-
decide to pick people? You know.
Well, given the content of Russell Brand's channel, you would hope they would go further than a
They
Google
were talking about
search.
that on the radio today.
Look,
How the Labor
guys,
Party's doing all
how
wrong with
many
their selection, their candidate selection.
followers does Richard Hart have on YouTube, and how many followers does he have on Twitter? It's still relatively, like, in the greater scheme of things, it's relatively low numbers. So I anticipate another 2, 3, 4 years before he gets to that point where other influencers are seeing him and saying, "Oh, this is a person of influence now," because he has 1 million followers. Once you crack that mill, I think then you know it gets serious. So when that happens, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And when that happens, there's just going to be you're just going to want to hope that you got into Hex before that.
True. Yeah, very true.
Yeah,
That's why
for
we're-
real. It's
yeah.
going to happen. He's going to
Get
get
it
lots
out-
more
get it out there.
followers. You know?
Might go and get some of those hex stickers and put them in a bottle and just like. But then there's like a bloody big football fields of rubbish just out in the Pacific Ocean. Just so I don't want to pollute the environment any more than it already is. I want to try and come up with.
So scrap that
solutions
idea
to
of chucking some hex stickers in a bottle and throwing it out to the ocean.
Yeah.
Because that's really going to onboard a lot of
good
people.
idea. There's better ways to catch fish than that.
We don't want fish or whales.
How long do you think the Testnet 2B will last?
2 more months
until we go to 3. Yeah, until we go to 3. Hopefully not long, Sammy.
Wait, guys, I've got an idea. What do you think of this? This is like kind of the sort of shit that normally Motley tweets out. Imagine if 2B is version 3, but he doesn't want, because he knew that if he called it number 3, then people would be like, oh my God, it's about to happen, and people start getting ready for mainnet. So this could be just like a way of basically having testnet 3 while everyone thinks, oh, it's still got to go 3, then mainnet, and then boom, suck that mainnet right here, bitches, right there. Like, that could happen. That could happen. There's no. Remember when I said earlier? There's no rules. There's no rules here. We do what we want.
Did he not say he probably wouldn't announce it when it originally drops? It would just be live.
Yeah, he said he wanted to avoid people gaming the system and shit.
Yeah.
Like he did.
No, but he did also say
he
did also say he does not want to call it version 3 because when he releases version 3, that's when people will be expecting it to go live.
That's my point. That's my point. So that he can avoid that.
No, but what I think he was saying is that I want to, in my understanding of what he was saying was when I release version 3, that is when you guys know this is serious and it's imminent.
About to be dropped.
Wow.
Golden
that's the biggest thing in crypto, isn't it? It's like it's the main event coming up, isn't it? Feels like the main event.
Well, yeah, it'd be so interesting, like to see what Pulse and PulseX do. I mean, look at Hedron, what that did in 3 weeks. We was like, what? Like, imagine what. We'll look at the pair. We'll look at the PulseX and Pulse pair. Imagine what that's going to do. You know how many people got into PulseX, didn't get into Pulse that want Pulse?
Yep. And of course they will. They'll sell their PulseX to get Pulse. But then you got to look at the other tokenomics and fundamentals in those. Look, it's just going to be like taking candy from a baby because the money's got to come from somewhere. But or to give it value. But gee whiz, it seems like a lot of people are going to get really wealthy really quickly when that comes out.
Hey, do we know much about the what's going on with the liquidity pools? I heard some people talking about. And I just saw it in the chat as well. It reminded me.
Yeah.
Does anyone have that liquidity pool stuff on hand?
While you guys are working that out, crypto market cap, total market cap is hit 1.9 trillion.
Really?
Yep. It's pumping like absolute fuck at the moment.
I saw ETH over 3 grand.
Is it alts pumping? Or?
It's mainly from Bitcoin. It's mainly Bitcoin.
Okay.
But
some
of the alts are running as well. Yeah.
ETH is pumped from 2,700 to about 3 grand in a matter of 2 or 3 days.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's over 3 grand right now.
I haven't been watching that after.
And Tangent,
Bitcoin's
is this
almost 43.
Tangent, is this going to bump its head on this level and then fall back down lower?
I don't think so. You guys know I've been bullish. Like I'm bullish as hell. Like I think as long as like in terms of trend lines that I've been watching for Bitcoin, ETH, total 2, 3, etc., this breaks the trend. So as long as we don't fall back down like quickly,
I reckon we've got to fall back down one more time. Not much
to turn the trend lines into support.
Just to fill out that there's an ascending triangle on Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, yes.
So, so I reckon in the next 3 to 4 weeks will be the true indicator of whether we're going to blast off for a big run or whether we're going to have a little bit more pain.
So basically, you're talking about the 44,600 level, roughly.
I haven't got
to be the top of the triangle, and so one more test of that. Come back down to the bottom of the triangle, which will probably be around just under 40K, and then
make a decision there. Yeah,
I think that would look very clean.
So next 3 or 4 weeks will be the tell. I'm on a bit of a crusade. I think MetaMask is a pile of shit. and there's a better tool, but the problem with this better tool is you can't put in custom RPCs or obviously we can't select the testnet or we're probably not going to be able to select Pulse out of the gate because...
So you have to have a separate installation for each net that you're using?
No, this is the beautiful thing about it. When you install, so it's rabby.io. So Nerdgirl tweeted out about it.
Oh yeah, I heard other people talking about it in the Hex community as well.
I've been using it for the last 2 weeks.
Someone recommended it to Richard on Twitter Spaces, and he said he would look into it. Yeah,
it is awesome. Like I've been using it, and the beautiful thing is, so with MetaMask at the moment, when you want to move between chains, you've got to go up and select the different chain to be on it. So you can't sort of be across 2 chains at once. In Rabby, it shows you your wallet address and shows you your balance on every single chain you select. So Avalanche, Matic, it just shows it all in one wallet, and you can see exactly what's going on your wallet, which is going to be really good when you're dealing with PulseChain and ETH. So when you're doing your hex across both chains. So
I must have the wrong domain.
Can you spell it? I just tried.
RABBY.io. Now, if we can make a concerted effort to try and get these guys to implement custom RPCs, this is going to be an awesome tool. The way it handles really cool things like token allowances, so you can revoke token allowances there. When you do a buy, you can, rather than have to go do a single transaction to set a token allowance, the token allowance is part of the transaction sequence, and it's for the amount you're buying at that time. So it's just got some really slick ways it does things.
So hold on, Jexxa, it says it's already multi-chain. So why does it not?
You can't do custom
testnet.
So it's multi-chain, but only the ones that they have added.
Yeah. So if we can jump on their Twitter and things like that and get them.
Let's get that. What's their Twitter handle? Let's get that in the chat.
Do you know why I would find that particularly useful? Is because aside from the annoyance of having to change chains all the time, I find that MetaMask, that's when it's at its most buggy, is when you change chains and then you have to close the whole fucking browser down and open it up, because that's when it starts to glitch out the most, is when you're changing from chain to chain.
Yeah.
And my shit's all over the place. So like I'm changing chains like all the time. So it gets very frustrating.
Yep, that's what I found. Like I literally had MetaMask just stop working for me completely the other day, and I had to go, like it took me days and days to figure out what was going wrong. It just wasn't releasing one of the addresses it was saying was connected to a site. So I couldn't use Hex, Hedron, anything.
God.
Literally had to go and inspect all the things that were going on the page to find out how to bloody fix it.
Bro, that is a nightmare.
So
imagine for someone less tech savvy, that's game over. That's like you just have to walk away from DeFi. Like
you know what I also hate about MetaMask? Since I'm on a rant, you have to create a default wallet with a seed phrase.
You can't just jump straight to hardware wallet. You can't just jump straight to hardware wallet. Why is that not an option? It's so ridiculous.
Yep.
Because the thing that I don't like about that particularly is, because you could say, just create the default wallet. You don't even need to save the seed phrase keys. But then if you accidentally send to one of those addresses and you didn't save the seed phrase keys because you're like, I'm never going to use these default wallets because they're not protected by a hardware wallet, and then you send it there and then something goes wrong, you're fucked. Yeah. So I have had to save the seed phrase just in case, and it's just annoying.
I think that's you want to be careful and do that. You want to save that seed phrase.
You can put in any address and watch it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, Richard, watch out. I'm going to be eye-fucking the shit out of your OA addresses.
Yeah. It's really cool. So,
people are already doing that, though.
See if we can...
So you want to gas them up and get them so that they know to include PulseChain at the start.
Well, it'd be nice to get PulseChain, but I'd much prefer if they could do custom RPCs. Now, given the functionality they have, I don't know whether that is possible in there or not, because they do include a lot of really cool features, and maybe that's why they have to limit to what they program.
Also, could that be part of what has created the bugginess in MetaMask? Is the fact that it's custom rather than in build, so they can't test it as well.
I think MetaMask is just
just think it's trash. Like
they release a lot of updates and it just breaks shit. Like it's stable for a while and then they release something and then it's crap.
Yeah.
Just the user interface is just so much slicker.
Yeah, that's a good one. I want to go and have a look at that as well when we get time.
So at the moment, it's useless for Testnet and it's going to be useless for PulseChain unless we can get those features added. All right, I'll get off my soapbox.
That's a good comment by Par Excellence. You can log into Etherscan and get email alerts on any address.
Yeah, right.
Just be careful who you give your email address to and what addresses you link to that email address, because they're collecting data on you all the time.
Yep.
Yep.
So what do you guys think of like with Hedron? They the OA or one of the daughter addresses has asked, like, well, I think Richard kind of mentioned, like, asked people to move the liquidity over from Hedron USDC over to Hedron HEX, and they've basically, the OA address has added a ton of liquidity to the Hedron HEX pair, and which is basically kind of because it's such thick liquidity, the price can't really move, so it's kind of frozen the price around where it's at the moment.
Is that's good, isn't it?
That's
well, on the one hand it's good, on the one hand it's bad. I think, like, you can look at it both ways. On the one hand, it's tying the price to HEX, and so you know, assuming the tactic is to, like, you know, wait for PulseChain to launch and then let the price go, then Hedron goes up with HEX if that's what happens. But by the same token, it can't really move independently.
Yeah.
So you haven't really got a completely free market. But well, this is
whales are part of a free market, you know.
Yeah, you should have been able to anticipate something like that happening, though. No.
I mean, yeah, it's, you know, this is whale games, and you know, you can't. I'm just like, what do you guys think of that tactic of the OA doing that?
I think it's very positive for Hedron, mate.
Yeah, like it showed support for Hedron.
Yeah, and it could be if the OA was being antagonistic towards Hedron.
It's not antagonistic, but it is kind of. I mean,
if they were. What I'm saying is, if it was being antagonistic, if it was trying to do something negative, it wouldn't be this. This is as positive a move, I think, as you could expect.
So what someone's put in comment there, wasn't Hedron meant to be tied to the HEX at any rate? And that's true, but what Bluey's saying is it's not giving it enough breathing space to get up to the ideal price where it should be. Which is,
well, no, it's not even about that. It's about kind of like allowing, like, the market to do its thing. So, you know, like, because if it's a volatile price, that kind of makes it attractive and fun for people. You know,
if you think about it from HEX's, from the OA's perspective, though, they probably want to keep the ratio between Hedron and HEX pretty stable, so that people aren't trading back and forth between it, you know?
I think the reason they did it was that people were trading their HEX for Hedron, but because the major pool was in Hedron USDC, it was affecting the price of HEX in terms of USDC, and was so it was being a bit. It was a pulling down the HEX USDC price, and so. I mean, I don't know. It's a bit kind of complex to think about as well, because it's like all these pools are like linked as well, you know. So
okay, so let's forget about the Hedron thing. It's important, but this goes back to months and months ago when we spoke about the price of HEX being stable and equal to the price of EHEX, and this is exactly how it will be achieved. The same technique will be used.
They'll be linked. They might be different, but they should like.
Yeah.
So we spoke about having a really deep pool.
The ratio
we
would
spoke
stay.
about if you've got a massive deep pool of PHEX and EHEX, then it means that they can't fluctuate because no one's got a big enough bag to be able to push one side of that ratio out of whack.
Yeah.
That is really bullish. So if you're thinking of selling
long-term
your EHEX,
super bullish. Long-term
if you're thinking of
super
selling
bullish.
your EHEX, then this should be the wake-up call that you shouldn't.
Yeah. Someone was telling me today, actually, that a lot of people are not restaking their HEX. They're keeping it liquid. And their theory was that they wanted to... Like, it's something we've been telling people that if you want to get Pulse or PulseX now, the best way to do it is to buy HEX, wait for the fork, and then swap your PulseX for one of those two things or both.
It could just be to have different staking strategies on each chain, though. It might not be to dump it into something else.
Yeah, it's really
Jexxa.
impossible to know people's motivations, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you have any t-shirts left, mate?
Yeah, I got a couple there.
I'm all out.
Mine I've already distributed. I've got like a couple left, which
I only got mine today. Actually, I've got it. Actually, it's on the back of the chair here. I only just went and picked them up today. I didn't realise that they had arrived. So, I've got a couple there. I could let a few go. I've got a few friends that will be wanting them. So if I've got some left over, I'll reach out to me.
What style did uNrekt get? What t-shirt style did he get?
I'm not sure. I don't know what he actually got.
Actually, can I just answer, because straight up Hemi and asking about what Alex sort of said on Joker's stream, and also somebody right at the start of the stream asked about this as well. So Alex mentioned, like, if $10 HEX, then I think he said Hedron will be about 12 cents. The way that his design intention is that the Hedron price will be a B share divided by the average number of days staked. And I think he was, to get that $10 to 12 cents Hedron, I think he was like working off one of Bree's like sheets. And in that, it assumed that the average amount of days would be like 9 years, because people are staking a lot more because of the HSIs, because you can. And there was another assumption, I think. Well, no, I think that was it. So $10 HEX, and also that means, and also at $10 HEX, the share rate would have doubled. So, which are, maybe perfectly reasonable assumptions to make.
The share rate would have doubled from here.
The point is, pardon?
Is that what you're saying? So he's saying that the share rate will have doubled from here.
At $10 HEX, the share rate will have doubled. So it would be, 42,000 HEX for a T-share. And so, like, because it's
there a time frame that he gave?
No, I don't think so.
I'm annoyed with myself because I actually watched that stream, so I don't know why I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I missed it. I'm gonna catch up.
The point is that I think the point is, I mean, there's a few assumptions in that, but the point is that his design intention was that the price of Hedron should track a B share divided by average number of days staked. And if you do that calculation, I just actually did that calculation like in one of the chats before, and it brings it out to about 0.001 at the moment, which is about 360x from where we are at the moment.
Yep.
So, but like, you'd also think that for that design intention to play out, there would have to be a lot more borrowing. And
I think that's going to take a couple
to be
of
a lot
years,
more borrowing. You'd have to think that the Hedron price is going to have to be a lot higher, because it's not really worth borrowing at the moment.
So it's a catch-22, and I think you need a bit of a redistribution event, and And this is way back when, I think it was after we had Alex on. We're in the green room, and I was starting to think it through, and I said, man, there's going to be just way too much sell pressure because everyone's going to be
dumping.
Everyone's got a lot for free. Yeah. And then I actually used the system the other day, and I had a bit more of a longer think about it. And yeah, it's going to take a little while, but into the future, people are going to want to extract value from these. There's a good use case.
That's
for
the thing.
Value.
Like people have not dumped. Like very few people have dumped. The price has pretty much just gone sideways.
So the thing that is going to allow you to extract value safely, so you can actually get a zero risk loan against your HSI stakes when it becomes worthwhile if you're holding Hedron now. So if you've got existing stakes that are minting Hedron, then that means you've got a zero risk way to extract value later on, which is one of those self-fulfilling things, because then people will start to want to extract value. They've got a free way of paying the Hedron back. But I think it's just going to take a while for that to play.
Well, I thought it was going to take years to play out. I mean,
I reckon it
before
will still.
And obviously, things will play out over years, but I think it's probably going to be a lot quicker than I thought, because already we're seeing that behavior of people not dumping and holding on and waiting and seeing. And if they are going to sell it, they're not going to dump the price too much, because they're going to want to like milk it along, aren't they?
I tell you what, all you need is one large player to borrow a heap, and it'll start to. It may be the cause of a cascade where people.
Already what we're seeing, there are some people who borrowed very early on, and it looked like they're just going to let those stakes bleed out, and so not bleed out, sorry, but they're going to like let them default, and so then people will start bidding on those, and that's a way to flush out a lot of the Hedron out of the system, because all that gets burnt.
Yep.
So those people,
I reckon it's going to be a cracker. I think we're just going to let it play out.
There's going to be an auction for those stakes that don't get repaid within 90 days, right? It's going to be an auction, and whoever bids the most Hedron, the Hedron you got for free, for most people, they're going to get that stake. It's going to be a real HEX stake that they get.
Yeah, and there's a few people like David Feder licking their lips about snapping up these Hedron, these HEX stakes, and they're going to pay a lot. I think they're going to pay a lot of Hedron, especially as people get into that stickiness of the bidding it up, because at the end of the 24-hour auction, it extends the auction by 5 minutes every time a bid is placed.
Can I make a suggestion, Bluey? You guys are going to know in advance when something's about to default. I feel like you guys should make a big deal about that and be live streaming and call, like, shot by shot, calling what's happening.
Yeah,
You guys should be on that and make a big deal out of it if you want it to be something that people are interested in, because it's something that's going to people will be captivated.
No expectations, mate. But
I still don't think a lot of people understand it. Like, they've gone and claimed because it was free.
But they'll understand an auction. They'll understand that people are bidding for and then when they see that component of it, they're going to be like, hang on a second.
That's a really good idea, actually. On day 91, like doing a live stream of the auctions.
And you guys are going to know in advance. It's not like this is going to just be sprung upon you. You're going
and you know what?
I'll
tell everyone exactly how you find out. It's pretty easy. You just go to Bloxy, you put in the contract address, and it's got a ton of stats. And one of those stats is you can look at the function loan start. And so you can see all the loans that were started and when they were started, and the ones that haven't been paid back.
Can you do like a Hex whale bot sort of scenario? Because
there is one.
The way you'll get is there.
Yeah.
And it shows like when people have done HSIs and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It shows how many people are minting or claiming each hour.
So that's on Twitter, is it?
On Telegram. I'm not sure if it's on Twitter.
So why don't you get one on Twitter?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Yeah.
Oi, guys, I just noticed a wick on HEX up to like almost 18 cents. So I was like, that must be recent because I didn't see that before. But according to the chart, it was like ages ago, like, I don't know, like 20 hours ago or something. Do you guys see that shit?
Bring it up, mate. Show us.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I can share my screen.
Dean DK, it's BLOXY. Hang on, I'll chuck the full
BLOXY, yeah, Bloxy.
BLOXY.info, and if you do /address / like the actual address here, I'll chuck it in the chat so everyone can see it.
So that's the wick there, and it's like 1, 2, 3. Like fuck this. It's because this is 4-hour candles. Let's just go in 12-hour candles and just work out how many half days ago. Oh, on this chart, it doesn't even show up. I think maybe it's either this charting software is glitchy or something so I thought it was glitchy until everyone else said that they were seeing those wicks that I was seeing as well. So I thought, oh, maybe it's not a glitch. But then when they were disappearing, like see how this chart doesn't have those mega wicks anymore? Flick to the daily here. So there were two. They were consecutive days. One was to 40 cents, which is like here, and the other one was $5, which is like up here. But now they're gone. Oh well. Ghost.
By the way, you can look at
what causes that? What causes that wick to go up with the liquidity?
No one knows, eh?
There's a few.
Someone paid 18 cents for a hex. Someone paid 18 cents for a hex.
Or maybe they paid it for 0.1 of a hex.
Well, I paid 40 cents.
In fact, let's check the liquidity pools, eh? Where they gone?
The supply of hex is actually it is becoming harder and harder. It looks like the liquidity pools are starting to go down again. There's going to be less and less supply available.
Well, that's what I wanted to look at because you would
dry
think
the fuck out. Oh, look at this weird shit. Look at this weird looking shit. There's big F off gaps in the liquidity on. Remember that this is not the main one. This is the 0.3%. This is the 0.3%, but that still looks weird as shit.
Can I throw just a thought out there about the liquidity pools? Some people who are providing liquidity may not want to have a whole bunch of USDC at the time of the fork. They might say, well, why would I want to keep USDC at the time of the fork? I'm going to move that into something that I'm going to get a better deal at the time of the fork. And then maybe once the forks happen, then you swap it back to USDC on the ETH side. But like, why would people who are interested in a PulseChain fork keep a token that's possibly not going to be worth as much as it could be worth?
That's when you'll know. I reckon that's when you'll know the fork's about to happen. Is when liquidity.
Everyone starts pulling liquidity.
Well, isn't that what's happening though?
That assumes that the main liquidity providers have got inside knowledge, and they might just be whales who don't know Richard personally.
The other thing is, or they could, or the alternative.
I'm thinking away border or something.
The other thing is we don't know about V3 liquidity. What's going to happen with that, do we?
No, that's true.
So this initially scared me seeing this because I was like, oh shit, some of the buy wall's missing, but it's not. This is where the buy wall originally went down to. It's just that we've crashed so fucking hard on price that this is the remainder. So the buy wall hasn't changed. It's just most of it's been eaten up. The good news, if you will, is that whoever owns the majority of that liquidity is doing the thing that I said would be helpful for them to do, which is as the price goes down, removing the liquidity that's on the front end that would hold the price down and make it difficult for it to move back up. So there is a level of benevolence that is occurring here in line with what I suggest. I'm not saying that Richard heard what I said and then just started doing it. I'm just saying that I identified that would be a good thing if whale entities and liquidity providers could do that, and it's been done. See how much of this is remember how this was like a constant gradient, and all of this has been moved out. All that volume in there.
So what if they keep moving it out before fork?
Sorry, that was you guys talk like two questions at once.
Well, Tangent, yeah, I'm just curious. Like, do you think that like this Uniswap V3, the way that people add liquidity to this, do you think it's making like TA irrelevant? Because it really makes it dependent on like this is the actual market.
No, I don't think so. Because remember that even in a legacy central limit order book, the distribution was never even. So the fact that V3 allowed people to do asymmetric liquidity provision actually made it more like a legacy book, not less like a legacy book. And TA works in all of legacy throughout all of history. So no, like as in, so I don't believe so. Like I don't believe it would have a significant impact on the usefulness of TA for assets that have V3 liquidity. Does that sound legit?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
What was your question?
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt you. I'm gonna have to bail. I'm gonna have to go.
Oh, see you, Mayo. Good to see you, man.
Hey,
sorry to cut it short.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks for
Mayo.
having me.
Great work, mate. On all that.
Good work, mate.
Catch
Good
up
work
on
for
some T's.
pulling that whole
Really
thing together, mate.
awesome.
That's amazing.
Like that's your little baby, mate, and you fucking did so well. Well done.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Thanks. I'll catch you next
See you,
time.
See ya.
Thanks for your help. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
43?
Yes.
Did you have a question? Oh, shit.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
I
My
forgot.
question was, can you imagine? I mean, like, what if that, like, can we just play this out, this scenario? What if that HEX USDC pair does, like, pretty much disappear? And there's no HEX, and there's no HEX, and there's also no HEX ETH pair as well, right? What if they all disappear, and then you've just got like the HEX Hedron pair?
I don't think Richard would do that because the price volatility would be so insane.
But it would only be for a period of time when the fork is happening. It would only need to be for a very short period of time.
But remember, people who have their liquidity in pools still get mirrored tokens, right? So you don't have to remove liquidity to get the fork to get the airdrop.
No, but if you've got USDC in a pool, that means you're forcing yourself to get like a USDC on
potentially
Pulse.
voided.
Yes,
and then
you
might
get
voided,
the exact
so you
same
might not
tokens
want
in
that.
the exact same ratio. So why would that be a problem?
Because it's USDC.
Because you could have it in HEX.
It's risky. It could be worth nothing. And also ETH, you're diluting yourself. If you're just going to hold ETH and you're going to have as many Pulse on the other side, then you're going to dilute yourself a great deal.
If I was Richard and it was my project, I would be more concerned about the volatility that could occur by removing it than the risk that the USDC is not going to be worth as much on the other chain. I wouldn't give a shit about that. Like, as in, you get what I'm saying? I would.
But it would, if you think about it, like it would only be for a short period of time that you would need to do something like that. Because when the fork is, you might just say, well, it's only going to be for half a day. And if people know that the fork's happening, what kind of pressure is there going to be? Is there going to be sell pressure or buy pressure?
That's exactly what I was going to say. So imagine if you released a tweet and said, guys, this is going to happen in 4 hours or something, or a day or whatever. And then you pulled all the USDC liquidity.
Like you leave 100 grand in there. Like you leave 100 grand in there and you say, fucking 100 grand, I'll just leave it there and that's whatever. The price of HEX is going to go to $5 for real, bro.
I personally wouldn't risk it if I was him. Because you've got to remember, even though you said it could be quick on a manual human scale is an eternity for bots. Like, you've got no fucking idea what could go wrong if you start doing shit like that, where you just it's effectively, that's a fucking rug. Like, as in, you'd be rugging the liquidity for a short period of time. And to me, my vote is with him not doing it. Like, as in assuming that he continues to act in a benevolent fashion, which he's proven to.
If you do an uNrekt.
I didn't do that.
That was uNrekt.
So,
bro, Discourse Syndicate is going to crack the shits, mate.
I was on Twitter. I was on Twitter just then, and that came up on my thing.
If you assume benevolence, my opinion would be that he would not do that, but we'll see. Like,
I don't think it would be done.
I don't think he's got a problem with holding USDC into the fork either. Like, look how much is still in the sacrifice addresses.
True.
This is true.
That's true.
And we are making the assumption that
I still think all that I think that human nature is going to be that USDC that's forked over, everyone's just going to treat it as if it's $1. I reckon people are just going to start. People are going to start trading, and they're going to just treat it as if it's $1 because it's going to say it's $1.
Well, and remember, it's tied in throughout the entire system, in all those liquidity. So you know how like all the liquidity pools are going to fork over as well, right? And any that are ERC20 versus ERC20 means that those ones are going to be not messed with, like the harvesting bot or whatever doesn't mess with those ratios. So all of that stuff is linked in the exact same way, ratio-wise, as all the USDC pairs over on ETH. And then there's going to be mechanisms that link the value of tokens across, like the bridged HEX and any other ones that bridge it. So there's going to be a limit to how far USDC can move away from its dollar value. And I think you're right that over time people will just be like, fuck it, let's just make it worth $1. Like let's just all agree that it's kind of $1. I mean, for any noobs that don't understand how crypto works, they're just going to see the ticker and go, that's worth $1. So there's going to be a whole subset, like quite a large subset of the crypto community that just see the ticker and probably just assume that it is backed or that it's backed enough or fuck it, if it's not backed, who cares?
That's the thing.
I think there's a chance that it will maintain dollar.
Think about the first time you saw USD. Think about the first
time.
Oh
yeah. Sorry, I'm 43. Sorry, I'm assuming not that. Like if in that case, then obviously that's a total fuck up.
Yeah, obviously
like
if they're
that's game over, game over, just instant game over.
Shout out to Johnny Chaos.
Think about the first time that you saw USDT on Poloniex or whatever, right? Everyone just treats it as $1. If you call it USD whatever, people are just going to treat it like $1.
Yes.
Like people didn't for years people didn't look into whether this shit was backed by anything.
Yeah, but if it's okay, so let's just say Bluey's got a whole bunch of USDC in his wallet when it forks over. What are you going to do with it? Would you hold it or would you dump the fuck out of it for something you know is going to have value? Like if it starts off at $1, what are you going to do?
Well, I'd start. I mean, yeah. If I was like scared that they might be invalidated, I had that, I would just start spending it like no one's business. But that means there's going to be a whole lot of people on the other side of that trade who are like thinking, "Holy shit!" Like all this USDC is cheap. Like I'm gonna.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be funny.
I mean, it's total popcorn time. It's
I don't know how
quality products.
You know,
the golden portfolio.
I might have to look into how, because you know how there's UST, which is it's not algorithmic, well, sort of algorithm, like as in it's a decentralized stablecoin, but it's not EVM compatible. So the UST that you see on Ethereum chain is actually a synthetic version of UST. We'd have to look at what capabilities the Terra team would have to be able to potentially F that up. And if that's limited, then maybe UST is the right one to hold going into the fork.
A lot of people are saying DAI is the right one to hold.
No, because it's backed by.
I mean, I don't
USD.
hold any of that fucking stablecoin shit anyway.
Yeah, so
I'm with this guy.
I think they're all fucked. I think they're all
strategy
centralized.
is hold HEX at the fork.
Yeah,
that is. I'm with this guy. 100%.
Yeah, no, obviously the safe play is hold HEX
actually
at the fork.
So the DAI one. Let's just finish that off so everyone understands. So that's backed by ETH, USDC, and Tether. So if the two two things that are backing it are worthless, then it's worthless. And the ETH that's backing it is going to get watered down 10,000 to 1 or 1,000,000 to 1 or whatever it is these days.
Yeah, right.
So the whole thing's there that give it its value break. But Tangent's comment of UST, that's an interesting one. That one, it's theoretically backed by everything that everyone's put up as collateral on the Lunar network. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That one I'd have to have a bit more
any
think
stable coin is going to have the same problem if it's a stable coin. I think it's going to have if it's supposed to be backed by something.
Yeah.
I guess actually, Jexxa, I don't think it's going to work because the synthetic UST on ETH, Terra UST had to be had to actually be bridged into to create that, and so ours is going to be a copy of a synth that won't unwrap back over. So I don't think it works. We need if there was something like UST on ETH rather than on a non-EVM chain, then we would be sweet.
Yeah.
But I don't believe there is. I'm not aware of a decentralized stablecoin.
If you're looking for something that may keep its perceived value, UST is probably the more likely one.
So Tangent, just going back to what we were saying before about like how we were just making that assumption that maybe, OA is providing liquidity in USDC and HEX. Like I'm just making that assumption. I've not done the chain analysis. I don't know. But what if we then like put that aside and say, well, no, actually entities that are providing liquidity are actually not the OA. They're not going to keep, like, do you know what I mean? Like they're going to be, they're not going to, if they're into PulseChain, they might actually pull out their USDC and put it into something else.
Then swap it to HEX.
Maybe.
Bang.
Or something else. Like if they're...
are we going to see $HEX, $2 HEX? What are we going to see?
If they both pooled their liquidity and use the USD side of it to buy HEX at the same time and they're a whale, that would send the price so high that it would be... Because remember, the removal of liquidity makes it easier to move up, and then they're just buying the shit out of it. It would just be moonshot.
And then that was my speculation. And how many forks have you ever seen that hasn't been like just a massive, like hasn't just pumped the price when it's been called? Tell me, how many forks have you seen that the price hasn't just skyrocketed? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Leading into it, and then after it, they usually dump, don't they?
One side dumps.
Yeah. One side dumps usually.
Usually the idea is that it gets priced in leading into it, and I think that might be why Richard's been very vague with so that people can't start to like price it in because they've got no idea. It could be 1 week, it could be 8 weeks, it could be a month, like it could be 8 months. Like, so it prevents people from actually pricing in the whatever it is, and then you don't get that by the rumor sell the news shit happening. So I think he's being smart about how he's handling it.
And by the way, I had this thought before earlier today that although the price of HEX is like a bit, it's what, 11 cents, 12 cents. Like everyone who sacrificed for Pulse or PulseX, like at the start of the sacrifice for each of them.
I think it was 12 cents at the start of Pulse, wasn't it?
Everyone should feel really, really good about themselves.
You can get your HEX back for the price you sacked at.
Well, no, they would have got between 15 and 18 cents if they sacked in those first 5 days of the Pulse sacrifice. So you got a better price than what the price is right now for HEX. And then if you sacked for PulseX in the first 3 to 5 days, you got like about 30 to 35 cents. So if you're not planning on selling your HEX, right, and you're just waiting, then everyone should be super happy about the deal they got for their sacrifice Pulse and their sacrifice PulseX. If they sacrificed HEX, that is.
Do you think it would have been fairer though if he would have built it and then had the sacrifice?
What? I don't think he could.
Why not?
It'd be up and running.
Because
no expectations, Bluey. It was a sacrifice for freedom of speech and freedom of assembly.
Who would you choose to? Who would you drop the tokens to?
Yeah, like as in it would mean
you
that
you
then.
build it and you have the test nets, and so and then you have the sacrifice with all the test nets.
Still the sacrifice still before mainnet, but
yeah, I think in H's mind it was never going to be 9 months.
Yeah, agreed. He thought it was just going to be like a copy paste job. Like no, legit. He thought that it's just copy the code from BSC and change like a few variables, and obviously the flow-on effect of changing a few things and what needed to be checked in a freaking smart contract network was just larger than he imagined.
So I recall us all having a conversation, and I was pretty strong on this thought as well. I said there is no way in hell anyone would fork the whole ETH stake. It wouldn't be done. No one would even you can't do it at this point. And then when he said he was going to do it, I was like, this is going to be mayhem, but he's pulled it off. Well, so far he's pulled it off. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting.
He's pulling it off.
Yeah, he's pulling it off. He's pulling it off.
Come on, it's a show.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think it would ever work, but to get this far, it's pretty impressive.
But you can snapshot the system. You can take the system state without having to have the entire history of every transaction that's ever occurred, right? Because you're effectively trusting the proof of work that's been done previously.
That's what Beacon Chain.
Or you reckon you need the whole history, the full history.
Yeah, well,
Beacon Chain's going to be like that.
Go fast forward 15 years. If you need to check what's happened on your HEX stake, it needs to go all the way back through the blockchain to do that.
Good point.
Good point.
So the storage.
So depending on which protocols you're talking about, some of them need the entire state. Holy shit! Holy shit!
So why do you think HEX wasn't picked up and moved to its own blockchain? That would have been very easy. Be very hard to pick up just HEX because it's integrated into the whole state of the chain.
So you can't bring the state of that stake over.
You can't bring the state of just HEX across because it's in every block.
Everything else is just interwoven into it. Holy shit, you're right.
However, Bloobum, in 15 years' time, if everything's done through Hedron, then it would be a different. It would be different, wouldn't it? It'd be a different deal.
So Jexxa, would you say that if someone had a fear that like something's gone wrong that's like not fixable and that's what's causing mad delays and that PulseChain might not be possible, one could argue that the testnet proves that it's fine, right? Like as in a functioning testnet shows that there's no major issues in its functionality and that
of HEX?
Of Pulse. Of PulseChain.
Well, it shows the things we need to be working are working, but obviously there's a lot of broken things. And it's
let them break. That's cool. As long as HEX works. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like it's the things that
some things are going to break. Wait, you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. Right?
What do you reckon? What do you reckon is going to happen to the the V3 liquidity?
That can get, I don't know about the liquidity side, but V3 can come across and work perfectly fine. There's other things that will just break.
I thought V3 couldn't come over because it's like copyrighted.
It's coming over whether they like it or not. We're just not forking it is the difference.
You can't. I don't think you can copyright something you've put publicly on a blockchain. Like that's like you couldn't.
It's their code.
Like unless your name is Craig Wright, you couldn't even make an outlandish statement like that. Like as in.
So
no, but they've got a license on it.
Yeah, they still own all the keys that operate everything to do with Uniswap V3 on Pulse. They still own all of that. No one's taken that.
You need to wait one more year. One more year. Basically.
What you're thinking about, Bluey, is someone taking the code and relaunching new contracts using that code. That's the copyright thing.
You couldn't make your own.
Isn't that what forking the system state would do?
No. They still own all the keys that have launched those contracts.
Oh, okay.
It's an interesting question, though.
I'm just curious because so much of this liquidity is now in V3, and
I think this one might be one for the lawyers. Unfortunately, I think there's cases to be made in both directions. I think this could be this could be theoretically a legal battle, because you are copying. If I'm assuming that you're saying that the code on the chain is actually also copyrighted and not just like external to chain shit. Then
which is okay.
You are copying code, like you are inadvertently copying the code and running it. Even as
you're not running it. That's on the blockchain. Like it's a public good.
Oh yeah, there's no one to sue. Like as in, you'd have to sue the owner of PulseChain, and it's like good luck with that. So yeah, but
they're not doing anything with it though.
For the sake of the
hypothetical,
imagine if PulseChain was like completely centralized, it was on someone's computer, and they're like, yeah, it's PulseChain, it's my thing, it's on my computer, and I'm the owner. Then that might be suable, like because you are running their code if it's copyrighted, right? Is that right?
But doesn't every node run the code, like have a copy of it as well?
You mean over on ETH?
Yeah, every validator.
Like every node. If you have a node that has a copy of the blockchain as well.
Good point.
So I think it's if someone copies it and then uses the code themselves for their
own project. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Hey guys, let's move along to our favorite segment of the week. Jexxa.
Bitch tits. Hang on, give me 1 second. All right, I'll share a screen.
I think this is probably the third week where the price has just been very, very just sitting where it's been the same for like 3 weeks.
It's been like months.
No.
It's 11.56.
Young and wild.
Was it me?
This was very close. Hang on, share a screen. That fella there.
Oh,
Bluey.
Yeah.
Hey, Bluey.
Well done, mate.
Congratulations, Bluey.
Nice.
This is your first, isn't it?
11. Someone's been really specific here. So,
am I too late?
Oh man, they make it really hard with all these really long decimals. Hex in excess. Would he be the non-streamer to win, or would it be am I too late? What do we got? So if we call it 11.7.
No, hang on. If we win, if someone in our crew wins, that's it.
We take the prize.
Yeah, all right. That's it. Oh,
it's a home ground victory. Is it home team win?
No, there is no. The guys in the chat have to lift their game. I'm sorry.
All
sorry, guys have to lift your game.
All right, I wasn't clear on the rules, but okay, going a technicality.
This is my week.
Well, isn't it great that we've got over 170 viewers tonight watching the Hex Late Show?
I was on the
How's that?
I won the quiz thing as well on Cabana stream.
Congratulations!
Did you really?
You're having quite the week then, aren't you, Bluey?
It's all the time you've had to study in that sewing room, mate.
Crazy.
Yo, we got 164 likes.
Well done. Yeah,
people really want us off.
Right. That's good.
So make sure you get your votes in for next week.
Yeah, guys, get your votes in. So to get your votes in, you've got to go to www.titbit.ch and vote for what you think the price will be next week at this time. And that's it.
Okay.
So, hey guys, we're coming up on 2 hours and 20 minutes. Does anyone, was there anything that we wanted to cover before we wrap it up?
I think I've said my piece.
Crickets?
Ladies Discourse on Friday.
Just one thing I wanted to mention before is that like Steph and Firebun must have put the like the Hedron prices up on the Staker app, and if you want to go to dex.vision, you can actually see like Hedron HEX and Hedron USDC and all that kind of stuff.
And you can do that in the Staker app, can't you?
You can do it in the Staker app, and if you want to do it on your computer, you just go to dex.vision. And another little awesome trick someone has been telling me is if you want to invert those, like if you've got the Hedron HEX price, but you want to see the HEX Hedron price or whatever, like on the Apple, you just do Option I, and I think on PC you do Command I, and that kind of inverts the whole thing. Little cool little trick tip.
Nice.
Very good. Very good.
So
parting words.
If you haven't already hit like, do it. We could get to 200. We could.
We'll definitely go then.
Yeah. Well, we get people all over the world, and we hope you're having wherever you are in the world today. You're safe and well, and you're going wonderful. And look, it's all about having the conversation about DCA strategies, different opportunities that exist within the crypto space, and being measured and sensible, and with your risk-based approach, and it's good to be here back on the late show and having a chat to all you guys. It's been a fantastic week with I think it was a really good win-win. It's kind of like a win-win for the Discourse Syndicate Network, and we really punched above our weight class, so to speak, in terms of guerrilla marketing and just getting the logo recognized in different areas, because it might not be today, it might be just down the road, or if you're watching this in replay or something like that, there's a point in time where it's like you really got to sort of have a look at this stuff yourself, roll your sleeves up, get stuck in, and there's a lot to learn, but there's also good yield opportunities for your investment dollar. And look, crypto's it is tricky. When I came into crypto, I didn't know anything about it. So I went look for the smart minds, and I found Richard Hart. So, but look, anyway, that's all I got to say about that. It is
happy birthday, uNrekt, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday, mate!
That's right.
Happy birthday.
Right. Yeah.
Cheers.
Well done. Made it.
Yeah. Oh well, no, I'm not quite in the retirement village yet, Louis, but we're getting there.
You have a good day. Good day, uNrekt Pirate.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day, beautiful sunny day up the coast, and I was out on the bike and cruising around and doing the usual bits and pieces.
Did you get something nice for your birthday?
Yeah. Well, I got a singlet or something like that, because it was a bit warm today, so I had to swap my shoes for a pair of thongs. But otherwise, just another
day.
Another day in paradise.
Oh well, yeah. I hope it was happy.
Yeah.
As long as it's happy.
Tangent. Any last words?
Ooh,
when I say that, it makes it sound like we're about
last
again.
Fucking electric chair time. Just what I said before, that if you haven't already hit like, then help us get it to 200. And it's been fun as always, guys. I really enjoy streaming with you guys. I like that top, Bloobum. That's gonna be my outro statement. I fucking like that top. It's sick. Did you get that in Vegas?
Yeah, I did.
Sick. Yeah, I like it. All right,
it's exciting, Bluey. Getting out to Burning Man and doing all kinds of things over there, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gonna travel around a bit, have a bit of fun.
As you do.
You do.
Awesome.
Life's too short.
Jexxa, parting words, mate.
Get a little bit excited, people. We're one step closer to having a launch. So yeah, who knows? Hopefully it won't be too long.
Yeah.
Sammy, what's going on Saturday?
Well, yeah,
Friday
our
night?
Saturday here in Australia. For everyone else, it's Friday. Ladies Discourse. We've got some cool new chicks coming on, so check it out. And thanks for watching, everyone. Love you guys, and take care. See you next week.
Louis?
Yep, good way to end it. See you next week.
Yep.
Cheers.
See you guys next week. Awesome. Thanks to everyone in the chat. We love yous. Make sure you click that like before you head out. Make sure you click that like. I reckon we can get over 200. I reckon we can. Make sure you're the person who gets us over that 200. Make sure you're the person who gets us over 200. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.